God. Wait, you didn't catch me up on the book.
It's too late. We're live. It's too late.
We're gonna catch you up now. Hi, everybody. If anybody is watching this now or later, we're Only Lovers Left in the Library, and we read along with Vaginal Fantasy, the romance genre book club. And this month, we read Rosemary and Rue by Seanan McGuire, which Andrea didn't finish.
What? Why did you have to say that? You caught me up.
Also, guys, I just realized I have a caller. Wait.
I'm calling you?
I own no. I own
a caller.
like a
Gentleman caller.
I read at least half of the book. I just really hated it. I just couldn't.
All right.
You tried.
Okay, so
I did.
what do? We read along with Vaginal Fantasy, and the book for this month was like, God, how do I describe it?
Private investigator, murder mystery.
Yeah, it was like a murder mystery, urban fantasy, romance. Was there enough romance? I don't know. Anyway, so what are you guys drinking? I'm having a little Presidente Light that Sarah left here, and I'm trying to finish desperately because it's really not good. But cheers.
Yours are not good.
I always have the
That's all
same.
That's all I got.
I don't know why we asked, because I'm literally always drinking hard cider. That's like all I drink.
What are you drinking?
All right, I have Dos Equis because I didn't have time to get themed booze, but I figured.
Respectable.
Yeah, and I figured
How would you get themed booze? How would you get like cat booze?
I got milk. I had wanted to get a warm thing of milk and then add some like
Ew!
bourbon or something to it. I don't fucking know, but there you go, beer and milk, you guys.
Could have made a White Russian. That one's with milk.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but I got here too late because I got stuck
I
at
had
work.
my first White Russian made for me by a White Russian. Yeah.
You win.
You win. Congratulations, you won the round. Okay, guys. So we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Christina. And Andrea is wearing the red cardigan, looking good, having the cider. Say hi, Andrea.
Oh, hi. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, everything's off today. And then
Monday.
the one with the the cat fairy person is Tashay.
Hi.
And she wins costume of
the evening.
God, if I'd have known, I would have painted whiskers too. But I put on my cat shirt. This story has nothing to do with cats, but that's the only thing that like we all really connected with the cat.
There is fractionally there is a feline presence in the book.
and
So he's fine.
Apparently, he's super fine. Okay, so let's do this. Who
Oh
wants
wait,
to go first?
I have something story related.
Oh, okay. Let me take a swig.
Oh. For those of you who don't know, that puppy in the background is Indy, Andrea's dog. He just turned 5 years old.
Oh yeah, yesterday was Indy's birthday. Happy birthday!
Hey, Indy's
birthday!
Oh, so cute.
Wait, I don't know. I don't know where to put it. So he's part of the story. Maybe I'll just hold him up whenever I talk. Be like,
No, it's totally relevant. It's a fish.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay,
appropriate.
so this story. Okay, let's talk about general, like what you thought. They're like overall what you thought of the story.
Okay.
And you start to shy because.
wait,
Wait,
I should start
do you want me to give a summary?
Talk about the first part of the story anyway. So.
Well, we could get into the summary last time we got into the summary when we talked about the characters. So like I just wanted like por encimita.
Okay.
Oh wait, and you were supposed to think of like you know how everybody in the story or who has like power or whatever, they have a now. It's like pronounced now, but it's like with an E at the end, so it looks like no, but it's now.
I pronounce it no.
It's their lair, right? And it was supposed to represent. It's supposed to represent you a little bit. And so I was thinking about if I had a now, what would it be? And I was thinking it was going to be a pizza place. It definitely, my now was going to be a place of pizza and other pasta, pizza stuff. That's my now. That's what my now would be full of. And maybe books, like also, but mostly pizza.
Cool. I guess my no, because I refuse to call it a no.
See, now
Would be
it's
fine.
right in the audiobook.
Ow. Fine. My now would be a la the Room of Requirement in Harry Potter. And all the corners would be book nooks. So it would all be benches with really nice big windows and comfy cushions for reading. And whatever you want to eat can drop down from the ceiling whenever you're hungry.
And what about you, Andrea? What would your now? Say now. It sounds like meow to shy. Don't fight it. It sounds like meow, and you're a cat person now.
Meow. Meow.
Mine would probably be a tiny little cabin in the woods because, let's face it, I'm obsessed. I have the cabin porn book on my Amazon book wish list, and I follow like all the tiny house blogs. So yeah, so it would definitely be like a tiny little cabin in the woods with Wi-Fi, of course, but no other model, just Wi-Fi and like a giant bathtub and a library. And then, like, some horses outside.
Magical fairy horses. Got it. I got it. Cool.
Whatever, guys. This is going to happen. This is going to be, like, a legit place.
No, it's cool. It sounds good.
I believe in you.
I know, me and Tashay, at least we just read the second book, and so your now can be whatever, you know. In the second book, it's like a building, but it's like a weird time, space, vortex on the inside.
I still can't believe you guys read a second, like, book.
Okay, Andrea, so what was your impression of the book? Like, what did you like about it, or didn't you like
Nothing. I didn't like anything. Maybe the cat guy, but that's about it.
My boyfriend?
Yeah, your boyfriend. I just, okay, here's the thing. Everything felt, like, super choppy and super stilted, and I didn't like the way the main character talked or thought about things or just plain how she existed, and I just was not into the story at all. I didn't care. I was like, all right, you got bound into this. I don't really care if you die or not. Like, that's I know it sounds rash, but guys, I just really did not like her.
So Andrea gives this a D-.
A D-? I thought that sounded like an F to me.
No, it's not an F because she liked Tybalt.
Okay. D-. What about you, Tashay? What did you think of it?
So, I have mixed feelings. Obviously, I'm reading the second book now, but I'm honestly only reading it because I want to have the cat guy have sex with the main character. I don't even like the main character. I just want to see how they would write kitty fairyman sex because I feel like it would be really exciting and interesting.
Cat play.
Cat play. My life. Obviously. But I had mixed feelings too. I felt that the main character had so many people admiring her for somehow being so talented and being knighted in the fairy court and supposedly having done all these great deeds, but she's completely useless. She's a mess. She doesn't use like reasoning, like context clues. Stuff happening around her as a reader immediately sort of are like, oh, okay, this is what's happening, this is the bad guy. Meanwhile, she's like, I'm a private investigator. I know how to crack this lock. I know how to do this.
Is like sometimes I thought that the voice of the main character got like really mixed up with like the voice of the author. Like sometimes I'd be like, oh, the author really wanted to say this, so she had the main character like think it or say it, but it didn't like add anything to the story. It was literally just like I could tell like the author just wanted to like sneak some like random tidbit of useless thing in, so she would like have her say like I don't know. It would be like stupid stuff like I guess to give like background story or like I don't know like it'd be like, oh, look at this desk that's like covered in Tinkerbell things. This is why fairies hate Tinkerbell. or like
Yeah.
pixies or whatever, but it would be like it had nothing to do with anything. It was literally like, let's just talk about like Tinkerbell for like a paragraph because that's what I feel like inserting into the story now. Like I felt like that a lot throughout. I just didn't like that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, there's no clear voice. The main character never really got clearly defined, and she had a lot of potential. There was a lot of material to work with, all the different kinds of fairies. She was a fish. She got transformed into a fish for like 14 years. She has a kid who just never got up again. She doesn't have, for being someone who's considered such a loyal subject to Sylvester, who's her like king fairy. She has no loyalties. She disconnects. She's very disconnected. I like the concept of it, and I like all of the stuff she had to work with, all the different kinds of fairies and the nows and like the magic of it, and the grittiness to the magic where everyone has a specific smell and it'll smell like copper, and depending on who you are, those things were cool. Everything else was a wash.
Okay, I see. No, all fair point. I also had like mixed feelings. I wanted to like it a lot more than I did, but that said, I did enjoy the story because I'm a fan of urban fantasy, and I've read a lot of urban fantasy. So, I mean, like I was talking to Tashay earlier about this like a few weeks ago or days ago about how I've read a lot of urban fantasy series, and so I basically, when it started off, I could see where it was going. Like I knew that I could see where it was going, but there just like wasn't enough there for me, and I went in knowing that it was like the first book in a series, so I was a little forgiving because I thought that maybe it's just a vague because in the next book there's going to be more things explained, and I did. I've read the second book. I'm like third into the third book, and some things are explained, but now into the third book, I have to cave and say that it could have been so much. It could have had so much more meat to it. There's so much that I wanted to know, and I didn't. I did like the magic in it. I mean, and it reminded me a lot of the show Lost Girl, because she's in Lost Girl. She's also kind of like a detective, but she's like a succubus. She's like a sex vampire, and that show is super sexy. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Check it out. It's really. I mean, I watched it. I started watching it because I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. I'm just gonna watch it. I could not.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Add it to the Xena list. Things you can watch with me. But I liked it, but there were a lot of things that didn't work for me, but I enjoyed the book. Like when I first read it, I enjoyed it. It was very light. It felt lighter than Uprooted, and I needed like a refresher like after Uprooted, and Uprooted was great.
I'm sorry.
Uprooted was great, but it was almost, well, you know how I feel about the book. So
yeah, whatever, Christina. Clearly, it was a different case if you prefer this to Uprooted.
I didn't say
no,
I enjoyed it. It was less. You know what? I think I enjoyed it because it was less work than Uprooted. It was more work for me.
Exactly. This was the cotton candy dessert to the meal that was Uprooted, because there was a lot of energy in reading Uprooted. It was like emotionally drained.
Like the cotton candy. This is like those like grainy, gritty bits of like sugar that are left at the end in like the cotton candy machine, and they like try to get like one last cotton candy thing, but it's like not fluffy at all because it's just like gritty and like gross. That's what.
Yikes.
Damn, Andrea.
Fine. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's nothing.
Okay, we're not
nothing's gonna top Mirror for me.
We're not gonna tag the author.
We're gonna go ahead and not tag the author.
Okay, let's make a note of that. I mean, I don't think she'll watch it anyway.
Not
It's okay. It's okay.
You never know.
She's got a lot of books out. She's got the October Day series under Seanan McGuire, and then she's also got her books under Mira Grant, and those are the zombie books. Those are books zombie books, and I enjoyed. I mean, maybe because
I really liked that. I really liked Feed.
The zombie book, and I read her Paris. I started reading her parasitology series. I read the first one, and I have the second one, but I haven't gotten into it. It's Symbiont, and that one's really good. That one's about tapeworms living in people, and the tapeworms.
Like Animorphs? Are you?
Send me the
He
information.
has to poop. I am so sorry, guys. Even though he turned 5, you see him at the door?
No.
He's like waiting.
Well, go, hurry up and take him to poop.
Go take
He's
him
like staring at me from the door. Okay,
Andy.
I'm gonna take him to poop really fast, and I'll be right back.
Oh.
I know, I'm
Well,
sorry.
I mean, bendito.
All right.
I'm so glad
So
to
what?
be human.
All right. What can we cover? I guess
Without
character,
Andrea here.
Do not
character description.
sorry.
No, we can do like a character introduction quickly.
Well, the part that Andrea read, she read the part where, she read up until the part where Toby gets shot and Tybalt comes to the rescue.
Okay, audience. This character gets shot a lot.
Yeah, gripes.
He
That
gets
was in the
shot.
gripes column.
A lot. Like, for someone who you think would have some sort of training, because she is a licensed private investigator at some section in the story, girl gets shot so much and never has a first aid kit around. Never.
They heal, though. They heal. And the reason she's shot so fatally, not fatally, but seriously, is because it's iron, right?
Yeah, it's an iron bullet.
And so,
Alright, so, okay, we should probably do a quick, at least rules in this universe. So our main character is half fae, half human. And the way it works in this universe is that if you are a half-blood child,
the changeling.
a changeling, if you are a changeling and you demonstrate some sort of ability at some point in your youth, you are given the choice to choose where you want to live. If you choose to go and be part of the fairy world, you're basically, your human life is destroyed. They'll burn down your house, they'll get rid of all of your evidence. And I think usually what happens is the people who you knew when you were human just never hear from you again. I don't know if they kill some of these people sometimes, if it's a little more involved, but you basically move to the fairy world, and then you get inundated with magic and fairy and all that stuff, and then you have to learn all of these class systems. There's different kingdoms. If anyone has ever seen, if anyone who's watching this has ever seen True Blood, or almost any other recent fantasy or fiction stories where people can be sheriffs of certain territories, and that's how the fictional characters divide up lands or realms. That's how it works here. They have kings, they have queens, they'll have almost kingships over the particular type of fairy that you are, because there's different
feudal.
kinds.
It's feudal. You have liege lords, and there are knights, and you wear your fealty to one of these liege lords, and you basically do work for them, when they need you. That's Toby's relationship to, oh my God, Sylvester, who is her liege lord, and he knighted her, I guess, and so she works for him. Also, aside from being a private investigator, so that's it. I mean,
exactly.
Other things that you can't say, the weird rules. You can't say thank you, which I thought was stupid.
Yeah, because it implies that somehow fairies can't stand being in debt to one another. So it's sort of assumed that if you're going to do something, you just do it because you don't want to be this person's debt. And once your debt's paid, you guys are done. There's no allegiances. There's no alliances. You're sort of just faithful to your family. Iron kills them, which is a kind of a steady, ongoing rule in almost all fairy folklore.
And the sun is kind of like a magic eraser of any of your like people who walk changelings who walk around in the human world, like what do they call the other plane of existence that the true blood
the Shadowlands? No, the True Bloods live in Summerlands.
The Summerlands. Okay, so if you're living in the Summerlands, you obviously don't need to hide who you are, because everyone who's there is kind of like a supernatural creature. But in like the mortal world, basically you're in the well, no, you're not in Summerland. You just don't have your glamour on. So if let's say you have a glamour on to look more human, right? Because you have pointy ears and really sharp features like Toby does. If you are out when the sun is rising, it destabilizes you. If you're a half-blood, if you're a changeling, and so your glamour falls away, and you're like weak for a little while, and it's like the worst. I thought that was cool. I like that, but I didn't play enough into the story for me. Like that was it. It was I
Yeah.
thought there would be like the sun is coming up, he's gonna get incapacitated. Nope, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. They use that as a trope maybe like once or twice, especially when you first meet Tybalt, which is I like that. I like that. Hey, Tybalt. So guys, for those of you who obviously don't know, me and Tybalt are dating.
What? How are
So
you?
I'm dating him. We're dating. We're an item. I only wore this makeup for him. Tybalt is a fictional character in the story who's the king of cats.
Yeah,
And
and the cat people are called the Kate She. You'd never know it because of the spelling, but
it's very complicated. So the Keiichi don't owe loyalty to any other. They don't owe loyalty, or they don't have any fealty. Like they're not loyal to anybody else except for the cats. And house cats are part of the kingdom, so they communicate to these fey cats, and that's how they do spying and find out all these secrets. And they can travel through shadows. So he travels going in shadows, just materializes where he wants to be at.
That's pretty cool.
And he just sounds so dreamy. He's all sleek and like kind of a sarcastic asshole, which obviously the theme for my preferences in these kinds of stories.
Okay, but him being somewhat nice to her, which is something that
he's weirdly nice to her, even though they're supposed to be sworn enemies.
Okay, so here we go. Andrea's back. We got to jump into the story. So
Do it.
Toby Day is a private investigator. She is on an errand, right? She's not married, but she is she married?
She's
basically married, just not technically.
Es su marinovio. They're like, están conviviendo. How do I say that in English?
her partner. Her like partner.
Partners.
She's got a domestic partnership.
Yeah, her domestic partner.
With this guy, and then they also have a daughter. So I guess the daughter is 1/4 fairy, 1/4 fae, because
Yes.
okay, because Toby is half. Okay, so Toby is out investigating the kidnapping of her liege lord's wife and daughter, and the suspected kidnapper is Simon, which is Sylvester's twin brother. She sneaks up on them. She sneaks up on them at the gardens, the tea gardens. I have never been to California. No idea.
Guys, this happens in California. I've never been either.
Every time they would just describe anything, I would just think of like stock panoramic shots. And then, but also then just like the misty kind of like back streets from Lost Girl. So
I just kept picturing really nice boardwalks, so I'm like, obviously I do not have the correct imagery for this story. She's like, creepy shadows, and I'm like,
we're in the tropics. We only see mist when like we go to the rainforest. I could not picture it. Okay, so she follows them to which sounds like a beautiful place, these tea gardens, and he kind of like gets the drop on her, and he turns her into a fish.
14 years.
He's a fish for 14 years. And that's where the story and it gets
Andrea's fish.
It's really creepy now that I look at it. Like, it looks like a person who got shocked into being a fish.
He's like, oh my god, where'd my legs go?
So anyway, when we go back to Toby 13 or 14 years later, she is angry at the world for obvious reasons. It's been a while since she's been back in the human world. She's working at like this like Quickie Mart place, and she felt like she was burned on both sides. Like she felt like she was betrayed by the Fae, or she doesn't really want to see Sylvester because she feels like she failed him too. And then when she tried to reconnect with her family, they rejected her as well. And we have to talk about that, you guys, because that was my number one pet peeve in the story.
They go more into that like later on in the book, or they just never talk about them again.
I mean, it's not that they don't talk about it because okay, now we're gonna get into spoiler territory. She does. The daughter reappears, but it's actually someone disguised as the daughter.
It's a doppelganger,
but it's never
really, kind of monster.
It's never really. It just never comes up, and that's one of the things that I was just so confused about. How is it that?
That's why I question.
It doesn't have a bigger impact on her. That was one of the biggest deals for me. Anyway, we'll get to that. So, She gets thrust back into private detecting, sort of, even though she doesn't want to, because one of her frenemies
Everyone is a frenemy.
is murdered. She knows that she was murdered because Toby is a dunyashi, which means that she's kind of like she's got blood magic. She can taste someone's blood and then ride the blood and see that person's death.
That was cool.
Their lives
That was really cool. That was really cool. Anyway, she knows that Evening Winterrose is murdered later. She finds it later on, but the thing is that Evening calls her. She leaves her a bunch of messages on her answering machine. People still have those, apparently. And then in the message they get more desperate and more desperate, you know, and eventually she's like, oh, she's so upset, and then it goes silent, and then the last thing that she ever says to her, she binds her magically into solving her murder.
Mm-hmm.
And so why she didn't just say who it was on the message beats me, but I guess there would be no story. But then also when Toby when she rides the blood, she doesn't see clearly, and so there is the investigation, and I say this with huge quotation marks, starts, because it's her fumbling her way one way or another, and she doesn't want to go to Sylvester for help. She doesn't want to face him, you know. Again, the changelings are like second-class citizens, right? They're treated really bad. They were treated bad by everybody. You know, they're half this, so half-breed. They get no respect.
I mean, I feel like it depends on what kind. I feel like it depends on what kind of fairy you are, because like her people weren't that bad to her, but also that's probably because of who her mother is, because her mom was the most well-respected, most talented. How do you pronounce the fairy name? Dunyashi. So her mother was the most respected Dunyashi around. All she used to do was like.
So, like, people didn't have a choice, really.
That's true, and she became a knight. So all she had to do was, like, name drop her mom and say that she was who she was, and people would be like, oh shit, don't fuck with her. She's super powerful. She's gonna kick our asses. For the other half...
Really?
She wasn't. That's why I don't understand.
Terrible detective.
I feel like she tripped, fell, and stabbed someone, and that's how she got knighted. They were like, oh my god, she's such a great warrior. Really, she was just like, I cut my hand to do some blood magic, and then I fainted again, and I landed on someone, and they died.
I can totally see that happening.
The first, like, fae character that we see that's the pure blood is Tybalt, who's the king of the cats. And she runs into him, and they have, like, a love kind of, like, hate relationship, right? Which is clearly brimming with sexual tension. Come on, you guys. And,
yes.
from the first time, I remember we had I wrote it in my journal. I was like, king of cats, you say?
I know. So like, he's the cat king. He's like, sweet shit. I was like, hey, what's your name, boy?
I don't want to say anything too crass, but, you know.
He can get it.
He can get it. He can get it. I mean, he is the king of the pussy.
Yeah! Pussy cats. Yeah.
He gets the pussy cats a lot.
He's basically described like every hot character in any fantasy book ever, where he's just like tall and dark and has deep, illuminating eyes, and you can travel shadows, and he's just like, hey, October, I don't really care.
I mean, all you have to say is like that he's like a cat person, and automatically you're like, okay, sleek and smooth and like like slinky.
Yeah, but we read. I mean, but this is before you guys joined Vaginal Fantasy. We read a book about like cat aliens, and that was really creepy. That was like.
Really?
It was like kissing a. It was like kissing a cat. Like that's what it was like.
Nothing
is much more graphic
than dinosaur sex, ever.
Right. That was just too real. Okay, back to the story. So, God, was there a story to tell? Okay, so she starts investigating. She goes into Evening Winterrose's now, and she finds this magical item, right? It's like a hope chest. These things are, like, super taboo, super forbidden, or, you know, people don't even believe they exist. She's like, what's this doing here? What's this? And immediately, I'm like, that's why Evening was killed. Like, I immediately make the connection, like, someone wanted this from her. Like, mystery number one, solved. Okay, now the rest of it was, who did it?
The entire time, even when she sees the hope chest, though, even when she sees it, she's like, what is this mystery subject? It's so warm. I don't understand. Maybe
And,
this
you know,
has
you can
something
make
to
a
do
wish with it. You can make a wish with it. I don't understand why she didn't just. I don't know. That was like a missed opportunity for me. And anyhow,
Yeah.
so she goes.
Legit.
Go on.
I'm gonna spoil it because there's no other way. It's a box that makes you more magical. Like, you touch the box and it's like I'm a half fairy, but now I touch the box and now
I'm a full fan.
I have powers, and now I'm like stronger. And it's like, bitch, you keep getting shot. Touch the box.
I guess it would have been too easy. It would have been way too easy to have her have powers. But that said, it was just so hard after. It was so hard. Okay, so
For someone
she
who's
decides. She decides she needs help. She needs help figuring this out. She gives the hope chest to Tybalt to keep for her because she doesn't trust him, and so of course he's the right person to give the box to. I accepted it because a lot of the Fae logic is just so backwards to me. Like, oh, you can't have half-blood kid. You have to make a choice. You can't say thanks. Of course, trust the person you can't trust. Of course.
She justified it by saying that you like that people are okay, not people, but beings are okay with breaking promises to their friends, but not to non-friends. Non-friends won't forgive you. I thought that was really stupid. I was like, what? I'll break a promise to a non-friend like in a second.
I just started just assimilating that it was just not going to. I'm not. You know what? Then I what I did say to myself was, I'm not Fae, so I wouldn't get it. Like, that's how I had to. That's how I had to approach it. Like, well, I'm not Fae. Of course, I wouldn't understand Fae parenting. I'm not Fae. Of course, I wouldn't understand like, these kinds of things. The only thing I could understand is like family, and even then, it was like such a strange concept because Devon and home and the family and things that make me uncomfortable, So anyway.
Like children having sex.
Oh God! So all right. So she decides that she needs help. She doesn't go to Sylvester, who she should go to, but she doesn't. She goes to Devon instead, and he runs this place in like the border of the Summerlands, right? And it's like a retreat for changelings. You go there. It's called home, and
like every Law and Order SVU episode ever. It's like, I'm helping the kids overcome their difficulties. I'm also screwing them, but they wouldn't be nothing without me. Like, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah. He's basically like, I'm helping these children.
So, but she did have like an attachment to him. She grew up there partially, and
they were lovers. They were like legit lovers. It wasn't just that.
And they had this like weird, sick relationship that I just did not understand.
She was a kid. She was incapable of having a relationship with someone who, on top of being an adult, was like a person who had power over her and like control over her. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole thing made me really uncomfortable, and then unfortunately there's more to it than that. So, but like I said, I was like, well, I'm not Fae, so I guess I would understand that. Anyhow, see, she goes to Devon, and Devon's got some kids there already, kind of like, and he says, sure, I'll help you. That's it. But she needs more help. Is this where she meets the Rose Goblin? There's like a little Rose Goblin.
She goes to...
Yeah.
The lady.
It's right after that. On her drive home, she meets the Rose Goblin.
The Rose Goblin, who it turns out is one of the creatures that Luna, which is Sylvester's wife, she has in her garden. And I just couldn't. I don't know if you guys watch Bravest Warriors, but for me, Spike was like a mixture of like Catbug and like a really spiny Bulbasaur. Like that's what I.
Spiny Bulbasaur. Yeah.
Maybe like a little Ivy star. Maybe a little bit bigger because the flower had to bloom. So I imagine it. So she adopts him. She calls him Spike. And so Nana, she ends up going to Sylvester when they're like, what the hell took you so long? Why did you wait so long to come over? And then he like, chastises her for going to Devon. And
because, oh no, what? They don't trust Devon because he's a creeper? Oh, I wonder if you should heed those warning signs.
I mean, just to sum the story up, she gets hurt a lot. She gets shot and beat up a lot. She kind of stumbles from one thing to another. She does manage to figure out some things, but not ever faster than me. And spoilers, it was totally Devin because he wanted the hope chest. I mean, who would have thought the creep was the one who did it?
The creep who
And he
keeps
basically-
talking about not wanting to die, and because he was also a changeling, like he wasn't a full blood. So he was at some point. She talks about how he would go on these like about immortality and pure bloodedness and all this crap, and it's like,
And that was immediately a red flag. It's like a huge red flag. I'm like, dude, this guy, it's him. But she does get shot, and he does end up kind of like saving her, rescuing her.
Wait, who?
Devin
Toby. She gets shot, and Devin saves her by getting the Louis.
wants to see her or something when she's really hurt.
He wants to eat her? Would you?
No. He goes to see her, like, a verla.
Yeah.
Y ella está bien, como que malherida. I'm speaking Spanish. And
She's really hurt.
she's super hurt and compliant. They have sex. And I'm like, no! I could not believe it. I said, really? This guy right here.
Over the cat.
Over,
Yeah.
Over the cat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because she fell into his deep purple eyes.
I would have even taken her like ex-boyfriend over Devin.
Connor?
the thing is, okay, loud. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Part of me could understand why she constantly made the wrong choice. She went to Devin first. She trusts him, even though there's red flags everywhere. Because she's in a really bad place. You know, she did go through like this trauma. It was like a trauma that I guess I would never understand because I can't ever be transmogrified or transmuted into another.
Andrea. It's creepy.
And so, I mean, I guess when we're in a bad place, we make bad decisions. And I feel like if she had been in a better place, she would have had a better judgment call about Devin. That's how I see it. That is the only way that I can justify that happening. It's not like he coerced her, though. And it just wasn't like the best moment for me in the book. I was just not comfortable at all with it.
Of all the possible sex scenes in the book, I was like, no.
It's the only one. It's the only one, and it was unfortunate. Now there is a little bit of saving grace when in one of these instances where she is super hurt, super shot. She needs to see who shot her or something, or she needs to see who shot someone, and so she tastes the blood. I think Tybalt gives her a jacket or something, and he says, "Here, taste the blood." They get into a fight with the.
It was when the guy got shot in the woods, and then he ended up fighting the person who shot him. He killed that guy, but got some of his blood on his clothes.
Yeah.
And so they needed to use that blood. So Tybalt's blood got mixed in there too.
The blood got mixed up with the assassin's blood. She tasted, and then she's like, "Oh no, but I really shouldn't because I'm gonna see your thoughts." And he's like, "It's cool." In his cat way, he's like, "It's cool. Do it."
He's like, "It's okay. I have nothing to hide."
I'm trying to finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just
Go on.
spot on purr. So he said, she tastes the blood, and so she's obviously gets some insight, but at the same time he's like, oh, she's back. She came back to me, which is something that I didn't understand because I didn't see their previous. They only talked twice before this. So I didn't understand where his attraction for her came from. But I was just happy that someone aside from Devin liked her. And that, that would have been that was what I was rooting for. That's what I was waiting for. It didn't happen, but I was happy for that one instance of insight into his character where he's like, I don't like you.
Yeah. He's like, you're a stubborn piece of shit, but
I hope that she would have sex with the cat man. But at the same time, if I was the cat man, I would never want to have sex with her.
I don't know why anyone wants to have sex with her. She's so stupid, and all these men who it's like, you guys, okay, it's like the Twilight effect, where somehow all the dudes in the book Twilight want Indy. I'm sorry.
I was like, everybody wants Indy. What?
He's sniffing the
Look at the dog. I can't. Okay. I'm reining it in. It's okay. I really like dogs, guys. Okay. So it's like the Twilight effect, where every male character in Twilight was so into Bella and so wanted to be with her. Or the Sookie Stackhouse effect, where Sookie's not even that great, but somehow Eric Northman and Bill, like, everyone wants to be with her.
But she was
It's the same with this chick.
She was a legit fairy, like, right? Isn't that part of it? She's her fairies.
Well, yeah, I guess for Sookie, it's because vampires really like fairy blood and it's delicious and it smells amazing to them and they really want to eat it. But even the male characters who are normal, who shouldn't have been affected by her face stuff because she didn't know how to control her powers because she was stupid.
Sam?
But anyway. Fucking Sam. Anyway, but Toby has that same effect on men, where Toby's just like, I'm gonna go figure out what's going on over there. Oh no, I got shot again. And the dudes are just like, ooh, she's hot. I want that. And she's like, no, you don't want none of this. I just need some coffee. Damn it, I got shot again.
Yeah, I did like that she was a coffee drinker. That's it. And that's the story. You know, she finishes with like this kind of like awesome, like, my name is October Day, and I'm going to fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight.
No, do
never
not
running from a real fight. I'm the one, October Day.
No, she's not worthy of being a Sailor Scout.
Come on, Nehala. She doesn't have much going for her.
Fighting evil by moonlight, getting shot by daylight. She is the one called. Oh, she's shot again. She got shot again. Someone else. Someone needs to come save her again.
Dude, okay, that's
another man is saving her. It's fine.
Another character that was into her is Connor. When she was first working for Sylvester, they had like a thing, but now he's married, a marriage of convenience to Raceline.
Did they ever say what happened to them?
Basically, wasn't it that she and him couldn't be together because of class differences?
No, I meant like what happened to the wife and daughter while they were like kidnapped for those like 12 years.
No, they were just really affected by it. The sentence, I remember it. It says Raceline came back crazy, although she reins it in pretty well, but she's nuts. Like, Toby is convinced.
Yeah, I just wondered if they had ever like.
And Luna came back sadder.
Yeah.
Didn't get into it, and in the second book, that's as much as that gets. It doesn't get. So that.
I'm assuming he put them in some sort of like crazy trippy fairy torture circle.
Well, after books in, I still don't have the answers
for years.
Like, I don't know, and that's something that should have been. I feel like it should have been resolved already, but that's just me. Maybe it'll get. Maybe later on. I mean, I'm curious. I will probably finish. I will probably finish the series.
Like, I was curious about that side story, and I was really curious about her family. Like, I get that, like, if your wife or your mom disappears for, like, 14 years and then all of a sudden comes back with, like, no legit explanations, you'd be, like, super pissed and maybe wondering, like, what went on or whatever. But I just feel like that wouldn't be just, like, that. Like, I don't think a realistic like mom character would just be like super accepting and be like, all right, I'm gonna disappear from your life.
Exactly. Like, she took everything. She took it laying down. And I just like fight. Like, and the thing is that the cop out is, oh well, I wasn't aging at the same rate as they were, so eventually, you know, I was gonna have to leave them anyway. But I mean, she had the glamour, a power of glamour, and she left Devin. She left that weird, stupid relationship to be with Cliff. I mean, she had the fucking baby. Like, how is it that you don't see? And then they're like, no, I don't want to see you. Like, of course they're mad, but that doesn't mean you give up. I don't know.
I also didn't think it was realistic for like the teenage daughter either, because I feel like yes, that would be her initial reaction, but I also feel like I just feel like it made them all seem like very flat and like, all right, we're gonna forget about our family for like whatever.
When I first started reading, I was like, oh, what? She's got a relationship already. She's got a daughter. How is this gonna develop? It did.
Back burner.
It
also is upsetting in that Sylvester, who was her like liege lord, was more upset after not seeing her for like years, and his wife and daughter were also missing for a chunk of time, and he's just heartbroken and was constantly he never stopped looking for her. And that's someone who like commands her. They're not blood family. That's just someone who just knighted her. That's him towards her. But her fucking baby, she can't be bothered.
Exactly.
Only reason she bothered with Winter Rose is because she put the binding curse on her. If not, she'd be like, well, Winter Rose is dead, and whatever.
That's not true. That's not true, because she did say, even if she hadn't bound me, I remember that, because this is my reaction. She said, even if she hadn't bound me, I still would have tried to figure it out. And I'm like, where's that chutzpah in getting your family back? Like, at least...
How about you figure out how to raise a child, bitch?
I just feel like she describes things, like, really weird, too, because, like, the way she would talk about Sylvester and, like, the reasons for, like, not going back, I thought, all right, this is someone that she's, like, very, like, ambivalent towards, or just doesn't have like a great relationship with, but then like she shows up and he like fucking like
love her.
He's like, oh my god, I love you, like where have you been? And I think that's where
never leave me again.
Like they were like really good friends. Like why would she? I don't know. It was just like really weird. Like for me, like their reaction to seeing her, I was just like, this person is like totally unreliable. Like the way she was describing them was not the way.
I mean, maybe that's how she perceived. She was scared. She was scared to talk to them because she felt like they were mad at her because she didn't prevent.
Yeah, that's what mad people do, is they try to get you to come visit by sending messengers like all the
for years.
You're right. You're right. You're totally right. I don't know. I just feel like it was one of those. I'm not fake, so I don't get it. I'm human. I'm just a human. How would I know what that's like? That's crazy.
I'm not fake.
I'm not fake. I've never been turned into a fish. Who knows how I'd react?
I'm really into this book chat, guys. I don't know why.
Anyway, so I mean, I guess the only. Okay.
Redeeming qualities of the book.
I did like the magic had like consequences. I like that. I like that she had only a certain amount of power. That her mom was like this beast, like blood beast, as in like this like hardcore, really good blood
magician
person. Yeah, she could like take a whiff of someone and know they're like fairy.
Lineage.
She was just really talented. And then Toby is not. She says she's very self-deprecating. She says she's not half the dunya she that her mom was, which I feel like maybe use the hope chest to get that, to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, Toby. You want to be saving people? You want to figure out who's the murderer? What's going on here? Maybe if you fucking learn how to ride the blood the correct way.
Yeah. But so if she overexerts herself, she gets like a really sharp pain in her eye. She gets like a headache. So it's got a consequence. You can't just use magic willy-nilly. It's you have a certain amount, and it restarts with a magic eraser at dawn.
Yeah. But, okay, my other argument to that end about the hope chest thing would be you touch it, you get stronger, you solve the murder, and then it lets you either get more magical or take the magic away. So she could have just then become her normal self after solving the murder.
Right? Or maybe like giving it to her daughter?
No, because we don't want to talk to the daughter because she doesn't want to talk to her.
I mean, that would be the only way that she could maybe get her back. I mean, I'm not into the series. I don't know if that happens, but that could be a way for her to get her family back. I just feel like she doesn't want to. Like, she gave up on it. And
yeah, she tapped out.
She's a giver-upper in general.
Quitter. She's fucking quitter, Toby.
If
she wasn't getting shot all the time, she would have quit that too. And I feel like she would have. I feel like the binding.
I need to plug in my computer. Keep talking.
Okay. I feel like the binding would have totally killed her had she not had as much help as she did.
She wanted to die though. Like that time when she was just like, it's over now. Don't wake me up. Like I don't want to be cured.
Conflict. I did like that everybody's magic had a smell signature.
Yeah.
And hers was copper and cut grass, right? And whenever she used her magic, the smell of copper and cut grass would like waft around her. Yeah. That was always cool. There's like this perfume company online, it's like Black Phoenix Alchemy Labs, and they make like this really potent, just like aromatherapy things. And they have, I'll send you guys the link later. The Bee Pal, you can create an obsession with those perfumes because they smell like absolutely fantastic.
Ooh,
And
I want a perfume.
let's say, I mean, I'm not saying that I did this, but you know how like Tybalt is supposed to smell like pennyroyal? Well, there's like some perfumes that like have that theme, you know. If you just wanted to smell like him, I'm just saying.
You know what's really creepy?
Send me the link.
If you got that perfume and then all of a sudden you notice, like, when you walk down
Cat started following you.
Benito. So, but as far as that's what I liked about it. I liked that magic had consequences. I did like the night haunts, at least in this book. I like the concept of the night haunts, how they have to hide the fae from the normal people world, and so these night haunts come and they replace the body. This is gross as shit. And they basically eat the body, but they put like a dummy body there. That's human.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Because fairy bodies don't decay. So they're like, we can't keep leaving these fairy bodies lying around because humans are going to notice. Because they're stupid, but they'll notice if there's like...
Yeah, and that's why Emperor is supposed to, her role... See, that's what really got me. Her role in the Fae world is super important. She is basically the only forensic means that the Fae world has of solving crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't want to be better at it. She's just like, I'm not really good at it. You know, I'm not.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Your potential? Your potential's in the box. Open the box. Get your potential out.
Yeah, the box. Open the box. Open the box.
Open the box. Open it.
Andrea,
What's the worst that can happen? You get better.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you watch Seven, the Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Seven Deadly Sins movie?
Yes.
I guess it just.
I would be sloth or gluttony.
All right, so that's it.
That's what I would be.
I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But if I would go back and rate it, I'd give it a 3. And everything that I've read so far is a 3, which I enjoyed it. It just was not. It didn't rock my world.
0.5.
I give it a 3 because I'm not gonna throw my phone across the room because it's so shitty. But it keeps not meeting my expectations, and then I lower my expectations, and then it still doesn't.
Right.
Meet my
I'll bump it up to a 2.
And okay, so other things like
Tybalt gets a 5 though.
yeah. I do want to know what he sees in her though. I want to see what he sees in her. I want to understand it. So see, I will keep reading because I need.
Maybe it's like when you're not nice to a cat and the cat likes you, or what, you know how you're like nice to a cat and the cat doesn't give a shit, but you're like indifferent to the cats and the cat's into you. So maybe because she's like, I'm too busy getting shot and doing things, I can't focus on you right now, I don't respect you, I'm not a cat. He's like
Doing that thing like cats do.
and then she runs away and he's just like
Let me see. I had my notes or whatever. I liked Spike, the rose goblin, that I imagine like Bulbasaur, because why not? I mean, I'm sure he looks nothing like Bulbasaur, but in my mind, I just imagined her with like a little Bulbasaur.
with like an underbite, so he's just sort of like
And
I imagine him being like
that's about it. And you guys want to add anything else to it? It was a fun. I did have a recommendation.
Oh wait, did they ever answer why the queen was like, don't talk about it?
No.
That was weird. Because that was weird.
That never gets explained. There's a lot of unanswered questions.
There's a lot of unanswered, and part of that is like I need to know, so I'm going to keep reading. But like I said, I'm already past the second book, and some of the things that I really wanted to know, I still don't have the answer to. You know, and I agree that I would have liked if that was the case, then just tell me more about her time as a fish. Just tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Seems it.
This is not how you're all gonna picture her as a fish.
Oh.
So if you want to give urban fantasy, because this is okay, but it's not like I wouldn't say it's urban fantasy because it's just that I don't know if there's enough fantasy in this. But if you want, you can check out the Kate Daniels books. That's really good. There's a lot of action, and she's a really good. I mean, the first book is flojo, but it's good, much better than this. I mean, like action-wise. But she does get hurt a lot. There's also these other 2 books that I read. It's The Shambling Guide to New York City, and it's this company that does tourist guides for, they don't call them fae, they call them coterie. Coterie? Like, like a clan. And like the shambling guides, they hire this girl, and it's basically like if you're a zombie and you want to visit New York, this is a good place to get brains. And this is a good place to hang out, like if you need a formaldehyde drip or something. That's a good story. There's plenty of action there. There's two. There's a shambling guide to New York and the shambling guides to New Orleans. It's really good.
Do we already know what the next book is?
Yeah. And then last but not least, it's a male character, but it's pretty good. Sandman Slim series is also an urban fantasy series that I love. It's by Richard Kadri. There's a bunch of books there, but it is. I really enjoy it. It's something different. In case you want to check out any other urban fantasy, like if this wasn't, don't give up on it, because there are some really good books out there. And if the Dresden Files too, I only have dipped my toes into the first one, but it was pretty good. Okay, the next book is, I already give this up. The next book is the theme is Western romance. I was so hoping we would get to this, and we have. Yes. Okay. So the name of the book is called. Indy, please. I'm trying to.
Drum roll, and he thought someone was knocking on the door. So
Indy, calm down.
He is so excited about this Western book, guys. Okay. So it's called Silver Lining, and it's by not Silver Lining Playbook. It's Silver Lining by Maggie Osborne. And the description on Goodreads goes like this. It says, hailed as one of the best writers in the business by Susan Elizabeth Phillips. I don't know who that is. Multi-award-winning author Maggie Osborne delivers hilarious and heart-rending tales of resilient women full of grit, pride, and dignity who shine through hard times. Now, meet the most irresistible and independent heroine of them all, a woman called Lowdown, who never had anything good happen to her until the day she asked for the one thing only a man could give her. As scruffy and rootless as the other prospectors searching for gold in the Rockies, Lowdown wanted nothing in return for nursing a raggedy bunch through the pox. But when pressed to reveal her heart's wish, she admits, I want a baby. Not a husband, not a forced marriage to the proud man who drew the scratched marble and became honor-bound to marry her. To be sure, Max McCord was easy on the eyes, but he loved another woman and dreamed of a different life. Yet they agreed to a temporary marriage that could only end in disaster. But can this strange twist of fate lead to the silver lining that both have been searching for?
Wait, so they fake marry so that it's socially acceptable for her to have a baby, but then they're gonna end the fake marriage?
Probably.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, that sounds like it might be a thing.
Western setting, and I love her name. Her name is Lowdown.
Lowdown, dirty lady.
I really want him to be like a cowboy with a horse.
He probably will be.
Well,
He might be a rancher.
Let's see. Let's see. I already started reading it. The prologue.
I like cowboys.
I like cowboys too. So I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm indifferent to cowboys.
And
I've never been with a cowboy.
I was ready to read this, but I'm glad we read it. But it didn't rock my world. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't nothing to write home about. So
it did not bring sexy back.
Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna say goodbye now. To everybody. To people who are watching us. There was watching us. It's weird. So if you were watching this live, or if you're watching it on YouTube, thank you for listening to our ramble. And I hope you leave a comment and let us know what you think. And I guess we'll see you next month when we talk about the Western Silver Lining. So, bye.
And hopefully there's more doing it.
Yeah, it just had sadly no. The sexy time that was in this book was just he walked me to the bedroom and then assumed a sexy time, and then it didn't.
Yeah, but in this one she's gonna have a baby, so there's gonna be.
Unless they use a turkey baster gold.
Oh God, no.
I hope not.
That's how you get diphtheria.
I don't know why I'm doing this hand gesture.
Oh my gosh! That means your costumes are gonna be so epic for the next one.
Right? Oh, I call it cowgirl hat. Well, let's see. There's a spoon on the cover of this book. I don't know why. Anyway, so everybody say goodbye, and we'll see you next month. And thanks for watching.
Bye.